What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of KozMatt's Wrestling. I'm Mcyintre alongside Kyle Lorado.
What's going on, Matt?
Let's go through once again another episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's see how it opened up. I think it was a pretty good opening.
Yeah, it was a pretty good opening. As you'll see, I think the show really dragged on.
Oh.
I mean, this was probably one of the weakest Raws I've watched in a long time, so we'll get right into it for you guys.
Well, the show opens up with none other than the Viper, Randy Orton, coming down to the ring, recapping his unsanctioned match against the Big Show last week on Raw. He then picks up the microphone after the recap, saying he's been in the WWE for, 20 years now?
Yeah, 20
Also
years.
saying that he's the youngest man in the WWE to win the WWE Championship and has had many teams over the years. What was it? Rated RKO and Evolution.
Yeah.
It was a good promo by Randy Orton, so I'll give it to him.
Yeah, I thought it was very good. And surprisingly, Randy Orton decided to challenge Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at SummerSlam, saying if they held their resumes together, that it would be a very short argument, saying that Drew McIntyre hasn't held up to what Randy Orton's done in the company.
Orton says he does have his respect for fighting his way back to the WWE and beating Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania for the WWE title. He says he gets what he wants, but he's just a few short moments away from getting that RKO for the win.
WWE Championship, yeah. As Randy walks backstage, Nia Jax comes out saying she understands what Randy's been saying she was screwed out of her women's championship and has wanted it back ever since.
You know, I can completely agree with Nia Jax and how she's upset from how Asuka was handed that title.
And
from
how
Becky.
she thinks she was screwed by the ref John Cone there. After Nia talked for a little bit, all of a sudden we see Shayna Baszler come down to the ring. The two start brawling right away, having referees have run down to the ring to try and separate them as we cut to commercial.
You know, coming back from commercial, we see the Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, in the ring to comment on the upcoming match between the Viking Raiders, Andrade and Garza, and Cedric Alexander, alongside Ricochet.
Saying they always wanted to be a ring announcer, so they figured they'd give their shot tonight. I thought it was pretty cool to see them announce the teams as they came out.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
They're not bad. They're entertaining, and I like them. You know, I love Montez Ford, and I think he's interesting.
They definitely get the crowd hyped. You know, it's unfortunate that there can't be a crowd there, but they get the people that are surrounding the ring really hyped up for their matches and stuff. Andrade comes down to the ring with Zelina Vega and Garza and attack the Viking Raiders as we cut to commercial.
Coming back from commercial, we see Cedric Alexander and Ricochet giving it to Ivar as Andrade and Garza stand outside the ring until they get attacked.
Yeah, they were talking to Montez Ford and the Street Profit team, and they didn't seem like they wanted to get involved in the match.
You know, Garza is then joined in the ring and hit back out. The Raiders both dismantle Rick and Cedric as we cut to commercial. You know, the Raiders are nobody to mess with.
Yeah, definitely powerhouses. We come back with Andrade giving it to Ivar with double knees in the corner. Did you see that jump off the top rope, Matt?
Oh my God, it was nuts. He flew in midair from on top of the apron all the way outside. It was good height. Those two Raiders, they can jump.
For a big man to be able to move like that, it's almost unhuman like that.
You know, I'm surprised. Hey, we see Ricochet doing his moves like that, but look at his size compared to the Viking Raiders, and they could almost do the same thing.
I mean, that's crazy.
Angel Garza comes in the ring and sets up the wing clipper on Cedric and gets himself and Andrade the big win to face the Street Profits at SummerSlam for the tag team titles. You know, after the match, Garza and Andrade attacked the Street Profits to get their bite on them before SummerSlam. It was a sneaky move by them while they were on commentary.
Yeah, and I think it's very cool to see the team actually being a cohesive unit. I think it's all because of what happened with them and Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton really straightened them out. We come back with Shayna Baszler versus Nia Jax. Shayna Baszler goes for a vicious knee before the match even starts.
You know, the ref has some trouble pulling them apart, but then he was able to do it, and then the bell rings. But, oh, man, I could tell this is going to be a slaughter physical mess up.
Physical affair for sure.
You know, but then, not as we thought, they got into a little brawl.
Outside of the ring, and they got both counted out, so no one won the match.
You know, I was looking to see a slaughter fest, but you didn't see it. I'm kind of disappointed.
I think they're going to gear that match up for SummerSlam, and I think it'll be a good SummerSlam match.
We then cut to Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, backstage with his disciple Buddy Murphy, wondering if Dominic was going to show up tonight. You know, I was starting to get vibes of a Murphy versus Dominic coming soon. You know, I think we're going to get a Seth versus Dominic, but I think Murphy versus Dominic would be something cool.
Yeah, for Dominic's first match, I couldn't see anybody better except Buddy Murphy. He's very talented in the ring, and I think they'll both put on a good show together.
Oh, without a doubt.
We then see Ruby Riott backstage with Bianca Belair with a guest backstage, the Hall of Famer Mark Henry, giving them some kind words, it looked like.
I was happy to see him back. You know?
Yeah, he was in a nice suit. He was looking spiffy.
He was looking good. It was kind of refreshing to see the world's strongest man backstage. So
Cleans up nice.
he does clean up nice for himself. We then cut to the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, coming down to the ring with Murphy, his disciple. Seth was giving a microphone and explains, of course, how he beat Rey Mysterio at Extreme Rules in the Eye for Eye match. You know, there's no surprise here. Seth does call out Dominic to confront him in peace. Dominic came down. He looked pissed.
In peace, by the way.
He looked pissed. But then Seth looked to give Dominic a hug and attacked him. Dominic wasn't having it.
Dominic was not going for that hug, landing vicious blows on Seth Rollins, having Buddy Murphy to break it up.
You know, Buddy Murphy and Seth both went back and forth on Dominic outside the ring, but now I guess we could say Dominic can take some bumps. He did take a good few bumps.
He got thrown against the barricade a few times, and if he couldn't take bumps, now he could, because those were pretty hard hits on the outside. I personally didn't think Aleister Black was going to come to Dominic's rescue. I know he has that injured arm, but out of nowhere, Aleister Black runs down to the ring to defend Dominic as the Monday Night Messiah and Buddy Murphy go right after that injured arm of Aleister Black, taking him out. But Aleister Black fights back, and a brawl ensued outside the ring.
There was something very interesting here. Seth and Murphy played it really well. Let alone Seth does play that evil kind of character type.
Very well.
He plays it really well, but he was sitting there as what was it? Aleister Black. He was injured, and he was looking at Murphy like, Murphy, you have to do something about this.
Murphy looked to have a little bit of a hesitation, but after a good slap to the face by Seth Rollins, Murphy decided to do what Seth has done to Rey Mysterio and many other competitors and push his eye against those solid steel steps.
Dominic ended up coming back and beat the hell out of Rollins and Murphy with a kendo stick.
Dude,
this was
those
brutal.
kendo stick shots were...
It was brutal.
I think it was personally my favorite segment of the night. We then see R-Truth with the returning Mustafa Ali backstage, saying he wants his WWE 24/7 Championship back.
We then cut to commercial break and then come back from commercial. We have MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin in the ring hosting the VIP lounge, saying that last week he did try to have a little bit of a celebration with the boys, talking about how he became the real United States champion, saying it did not go how it was supposed to go, welcoming Mustafa Ali to the VIP lounge. And, you know, they tried to lure Mustafa Ali into their Hurt Business, but Mustafa didn't have it.
Yeah, and MVP says he'll turn out just like Apollo Crews and end up sitting at home on the couch.
You know, Ali is a man of his words, but then all of a sudden, Shelton Benjamin was attacked by R-Truth.
He's trying to win his 24/7 championship.
It was weird, but hey, it threw me for a loop, and I absolutely enjoyed it, but he wasn't able to get that win and become victorious to get his baby back, so boo-hoo.
We come back from commercial with Mustafa Ali facing Bobby Lashley.
You know, this was an okay match. It was a little underwhelming, I guess we can say, but...
I expected a few more high-fly moves from Mustafa Ali and a good back and forth, but it really just never materialized.
Lashley did hit the flatliner, and I did think that was it against Ali, but Ali kicked out. He went for the 450, but once again, Bobby locked in that devastating full Nelson, and nobody can get out of that. It's like the Chris Masters headlock.
I mean, seriously. We then see Dolph Ziggler backstage talking to Charlie. Dolph saying he's going to beat Drew McIntyre tonight for that WWE Championship.
But then we come back with Sasha and Bayley coming out claiming they own the whole company again. They're like the Iconics. They don't stop talking.
I mean, they're a good team, though. I got to give it to them. They definitely complement each other very well.
Asuka finally comes out with Kairi Sane to end this hate speech by both women. But right before the match starts, Kairi chases off Bayley out of the arena before we cut to the commercial break. So this is going to get interesting.
We come back from commercial with Asuka and Sasha Banks being introduced by Mike Roan.
You know, this was interesting. A few minutes in, Sasha walks outside the ring, grabbing the title, saying she's leaving and she feels disrespected, right? But then Banks throws the title at Asuka to try to get Asuka disqualified, as if she hit Banks with the title, but that didn't fool the ref, as Asuka knocked
Eddie Guerrero right there.
Yeah, Asuka knocked Sasha right down as we cut to break. So it was pretty cool. I could see Sasha being that type of villain to do stuff like that. I mean, it was kind of smart, but ref didn't have it.
We come back from commercial with Sasha throwing some good knees into Asuka.
But all of a sudden, Kairi Sane and Bayley were on the big screen fighting backstage as Bayley was throwing Kairi into a few ladders. It was pretty brutal, but You know, what kind of got Asuka is Asuka goes to help her friend and leaves the match as the ref counts to 10 as she loses via countout. So I don't know what Asuka is really thinking.
I thought it was a bit of a cheesy way to end a 20-minute match, but I could see it. Asuka was in a moral dilemma. She didn't know whether to fight for her championship or go help her friend, and she ended up deciding to help her friend.
It was pure genius. This is where the team of Bayley and Sasha Banks really outshine.
Yeah, of course. After Asuka runs back to help her friend Kyrie, we then see Bayley run down to the stage, handing that championship to Sasha as they both kneel in the ring holding all the gold for the women's division.
We then cut backstage with Charlie Caruso backstage explaining what just went down as Bayley and Sasha Banks both interrupt her, gloating about their win. You know, if I thought the Iconics was annoying, this is annoying. And then all of a sudden, Asuka comes out of nowhere and just starts screaming in her language. Like there's not enough yelling already.
Bloody murder.
It was bad. My ears were ringing. They were toast.
Yeah.
Right after the segment, Tom Phillips leads us to a quick video in memory of Regis Philbin. Rest in peace, Regis.
Murphy comes down to the ring for his match with Humberto Carrillo.
You know, Humberto wasn't having it. He was fired up, and this was a hard-hitting match. Carrillo went off the top rope, but was countered into that hard Murphy's Law. You know, this match was nonsense. There was no point to it. It was just filler, so it is what it is.
Although Murphy did have a big step up, really taking over the reins for the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins.
Well, we then cut to Dolph Ziggler versus Drew McIntyre for our main event. Drew is given the mic and gives Orton a response saying he will see Orton at SummerSlam. Before he tells us a stipulation, Dolph actually comes down to the ring. As Drew says, it will be an everything goes and jabs Dolph as we cut to commercial.
As the match starts, Dolph Ziggler goes for a chair, but Drew McIntyre, the sly competitor that he is, puts a stop to it right away.
Drew does get the better end and hits Dolph with a hard kendo stick to the back. Ziggler went for a low blow, buying himself some time in this match, which is a smart move by Dolph.
Drew then powerhouses Dolph through the barricade as we cut to commercial.
That was a hard whip through that barricade. Dolph went straight through, but we came back from the wreckage with Drew as the champ hit Dolph with a hard claymore straight through the table, set upright along the ring. Randy then comes out of nowhere
to hit that RKO.
With that hard RKO.
Yeah, it was a great way to end the show. The show did drag on for a little bit, and it was probably one of the weakest Raws I've seen in a little bit, but there were some good moments in there for sure. Well, guys, that was Monday Night Raw summed up for you guys. Stay safe as always, and I really hope you liked this video.
Peace out, guys.
Leave a comment and subscribe. Peace out.